So I'll just share this one screen and then we can go into specifics in any of the topics you like. So this is from the masterclass we did like a couple of weeks back where I talked about like the whole personal branding setup. And I just thought I will share that again because sometimes it's just good to have a repetition. I will not go into all the slides. I will just share it based on this. So what I have found out over the last 5 years is, I mean, in general, personal branding is the biggest differentiator. And Sarah, we discussed it today. It's a long-term game. It's not branding is nothing that happens overnight. It's really something that you build out over time and you're refining all the time. Like I'm even still today refining how I want to be seen, what are the different things, changing the shirts like we discussed before Sarah joined. Like they're so small nuances that you can change and do all over. Just in the end, it's a never-ending journey of who you are as an individual and how you want to be seen and how do you use your personal brand to be successful in what you're doing. So it always starts with you, with who you are, who you want to be, what is your story, and how do you connect yourself. So this star is really the essence of everything, and the rest is really the system that helps you to make this bring this to life. So I always say you need to build your own hub, which is your own personal website, which is the game changer in everything. And it was the game changer in my whole life over the last years. I mean, I was just sharing it with Sam today when we jumped on a call. Like, I'm getting paid for keynotes, and that's only because I have my hub. And I use my hub to show what I have done over the past. Because let's say if I'm posting something on social media today, that's invisible in 2 days from now, maybe in 2 weeks latest. But in the end, it's gone. And because I'm centralizing everything into my hub, it's visible, people can discover it. And then through that, I'm getting speaking engagements, I have clients and so on. And it's in the same way works, of course, when you are looking for a job, because people can explore you in a different context than just on social media. So the hub is the personal website. In my case, it's jensheitland.com, and that's where I put everything in. And then it's really about how do you build a content system that helps you to produce content that is on your hub, but as well that you then distribute, which is the right side, into social media. Because there's a discoverability opportunity in social media because it's free. You can share things. One obvious example is YouTube. Like you can produce YouTube videos and you can store these YouTube videos on YouTube, and then you use your hub to let them let people sort things. So I, for example, a sorting function in my website. I have a search function. I have now connected it to ChatGPT in the background where like I can even give access to people on ChatGPT to just dig into my videos and content. But these are just like AI functionalities. In the end, it's everything in your hub. And then it's really combining these things and looking into how do you build a community around what you're doing, which is can be as easy like-minded people and can be like 4 or 5 people, or it can be something bigger like we do in this Rising Stars community where we are now plus 200 already in just a couple of weeks and further growing because we're adding more and more people over the next coming weeks. And that's then the output mechanism is really, or the result orientation is really either you want to use it for your career or you want to use it for your own business. And it works in both ways. That's the brilliant part of this. So I just want to get us all around the table in understanding this perspective, and we can do a deep dive in anything you would like to dive deeper into in this call. Because I'm not going into masterclass. This is just let's have a discussion. Let's go into specific things and talk things through. And I can show things live, like how I do this, how we do this. And that can be anything. You're on mute, Sarah.
Yeah, I realized. I was like, how do you optimize your website for SEO?
Okay. Shall we have a look at it?
Okay, because
Let's
I
make
mine is not optimized.
okay, let's so the whole trick, maybe let's start from blank. That's the easiest. I will just share my screen. We'll share my full screen so that you see what I see, and it's the easiest. Can you see that?
Yes.
So if we go to Google, then we put in my name, and the number one, where as it should be in my system, is my website. And the number 3 is also my website. And then, of course, like LinkedIn and the other social media. But if you see, this is one of the biggest differentiators. What I have achieved over the last years is wherever you scroll, that's page 1. There's no other than me. That's page 2. There's no other than me. And there are people in this world that have the same name like I have. Page 3, that's our school community. Even that is ranking. So SEO is really search engine optimization. So the first 3 pages, everything about me. I'm not going now to all different pages. But so the whole purpose of SEO is how do you give information of intangible things of your website to the search engines? So if you go to your website, obviously you have your website, which is your domain, in my case, jensheitland.com. But then you have words. So the words that are on your website can be read by the internet. That's easy. But then you have pictures. You can, like I uploaded this background photo, and this background photo could be named like photo 1 or photo 2. So every photo you upload is an indexation. If we go back, maybe just to show it live, these images are showing up because they have the name of Jens Heitland associated to it. And of course, now with all the different possibilities of AI, it will get better and better and better because it's recognizing my face, my hairdress. But I mean, just look at Google Images. All of these photos are named and are linked to my name. And you achieve this in a very, very simple way. All of those they are uploaded with my name in context. So when you upload a photo to your website, we go back to my website, this background photo the name is Jens Heitland, including Jens Heitland. The name of this picture is including Jens Heitland. So that means if you have like my podcast, for example, my main podcast, this picture is, when I'm uploading it, is including Jens Heitland. This as well. I mean, it's obvious for me because I call like the Jens Heitland show. It's very easy to name it as well that way. But if you don't do that, then these pictures will not show up in search engine optimization. So that's an important part. So pictures is one part. And then you have settings of every page. So a page on your website, in your hub, is this. So you're now you're seeing my homepage, and this page has an SEO setting. If we go to like my speaking page, this page has a different SEO setting. So every page has subsections and like topics that are linked to SEO. And that's important. I'm just opening up Squarespace, which is my website builder, just to show it how it looks behind the scenes. And it's easier to understand. It's fairly simple. It's not too difficult. But if we just look at, let's go to my speaking page. So this is my speaking page where you have text, you have the picture, which is my name. Let's see if we can even see that. So if we look at this, and I'm adding it, see, Jens Heitland keynote speaker. So that means that photo is indexed automatically. And then if you go to the site settings, which is in Squarespace, it's here, you have here as well, like different, that's of course the page title, the navigation title, and so on. But here you have an SEO section. And that's what the internet reads on top of what you have on your website. There are 2 versions. One is what is written on your website, and the other one what you want the SEO to see. So what I kept is the title of the page. So the title in my case is called Speaking. And what you see is here, Speaking Jens Heitland. So inside of Google, that's literally what you see. You see, I mean, it almost looks here like Google when you look in, and then the text here is what you type here. So if I delete this, it will be automatically generated, but I don't want to have random text there, which is something that is on that page. So I give it this text. And that's literally what you do on every single page. So all of these different pages have this background. And the homepage is slightly different, at least in Squarespace, because in SEO, you have the main setting of the total domain. But if you look at this one, which is the 24 the Planet fundraiser I did, it's exactly the same. So I want this text to be visible when I'm posting something on social media. Important as well, when you have your own website, you can define what is in the preview. Like when you share a link somewhere on social media, you can, in Squarespace, it's here, you can add that here, and I think it's similar in other website builders as well. So I wanted to have this picture in this case, or if we go to my speaking page, I wanted to have a specific picture as well, which is this. So I just wanted them to see, okay, book Jens Heitland for a keynote, and then they click on it, and then they end up at my website. This, I think, are the essentials for SEO. So it's really every single word that is on your website. That's maybe a good reminder for me to show you this. So I have my daily podcast. And one of the things why this is ranking properly, I mean, this is a blog format where every piece of this is a separate page. So this is like the blog post from today, and the episode is called this. We have a short description of the episode, which is a summary, and then we have the links. That's another way of indexation in the internet. That's not SEO, but it is connected to crawling. So, and I'm not a professional SEO developer, but what I know is that at least Google is indexing all the links I have. So I have a link to Apple Podcast, I have a link to Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, Overcast. So mapping the internet, Google knows that there are different links. And of course, I'm adding the videos here as well. Important what I do here, which nobody sees because nobody scrolls that far, we're adding every transcript. So the video transcript of this episode is inside of my website, which means that's why when you put in ChatGPT my name, who is Jens Heitland, it gives you all the context. Like you can ask ChatGPT today for quotes that I did, and it gives you quotes, which is super funny. It's just super powerful, and I do this in the same way with the long form episodes. So if you look at like the interviews I do, like this one, for example, it was with Alistair, who was the former CFO of the Total IKEA Group. I did the whole transcript in the bottom here too. Here. And then here I kept the numbers. And it's like at 1 minute, Alistair was saying this, Jens was saying this, and I kept this because you can ask one day ChatGPT, what did Alistair say in 25 minutes into Jens' podcast interview? It's maybe not working right now, but in the future, it's definitely possible. That's why I kept this in. So you even just by having this text on the website, the indexation works 10 times better. And then, of course, every single separate podcast episode or blog post in this case has then as well an SEO section and the name of it and the image. So through that, they're then popping up inside of search engines. And it doesn't matter if you use Google or any of the others. So that's SEO. A little bit. More questions? Anything you struggle with?
I can go. This is useful for me, and I'll implement it because you explained it in the masterclass, but I kind of forgot about it or I didn't prioritize it, so that's good. And also, you use for the transcripts, You use, do you have a program that you use specifically? It's also in your resources.
It is. So we use Descript. I can maybe just show it just because it's so brilliant. I use it since ages, like years.
And the quality is good?
Super good. So I will share my desktop, then it's always the unscripted version. So Descript is an AI video cutting tool, which I mean, in the end, that's how it looks. It's not nothing too special, but if we just go into my daily podcast, so it's transcribing the video automatically, and then you're cutting the video by deleting text. So it's not old school video cutting. It's like you work in a text document and then it's cutting the video.
That's so useful.
Yeah. So the videos you see, at least the older versions, I think since last week we have a new video editor who is taking care of things, but until that, it's all cut with this. And the transcript is 100%. Like there's very, very seldom, and you can just like download the transcript from here. I do this with everything. Like here, almost all of my videos are in here. If you go to even the Rising Stars community videos, like our last, which one do we use? Doesn't matter. Like this one was the last version. So I automatically, like this is the whole cut version of me doing the masterclass. And I mean, it's not properly cut because it's just like the recording of it. And it's not done for YouTube or anything, but in the end, I have every single word I've said. And I can just copy paste it into my website. If we just go there, let's show you the example. Because what I always do, I duplicate everything I'm posting that is like videos and so on into my website. So just to show this live, resources, and this one is in my blog. So I have a separate blog. See here. These are the master classes, and then usually there should be the transcript as well, as you see here. So the whole master class, if you ask ChatGPT again in 5 years from now, how do you lead difficult conversations at work? How did Jens Heitland do that? How would Jens Heitland do that? And you just ask this question, the engine will start running and you will get the input.
Which is super cool. And it also works for translations?
It works. They just have added a new feature. I've not tested it, that you can do it in different languages. So you can even, it's so far if you allow it, because I have allowed it to recognize my voice. So I can now type and then it's creating the audio for it. Like I can type hello Sarah without me saying a single word, and then it's playing the audio. And they're working on a version right now. If you have uploaded enough videos inside of it, they can replicate me almost. Like if I'm talking and I'm typing, like I'm saying something wrong, and then you type it, then it's overdubbing my voice and it's changing my mouth even.
So
like
great.
the deep fake stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, that's just that's a game changer when I started going into this tool rather than any other tool, because you have everything at once with text overlays, and you can cut proper like YouTube videos, everything with this.
Is it free? No.
No,
No.
but it costs like $30 or something. It's not that crazy expensive. And they have different plans. Depends on the amount of videos. Like I do video every day video, so it's a little more on my side. Any more questions? Chat. Sorry, I didn't see the chat. Yes, Sarah, that's an AI tool, and it's paid. You already answered. On my website, I'm not using AI tools right now. So for everyone that is just listening, Sarah is asking in total, what are the different AI tools you use in your website? What's the total cost? Like we mainly use only ChatGPT and Descript. And I mean, that's not inside of the website, but to produce all of what we're doing. Oh, not true. And we use, what is this? The ChatGPT of Google. Don't remember what it is. Gemini, exactly. Yeah, so that are the main tools we're using right now. And they work perfectly. Like if you look for keywords, what Kholut found out, I think two or 3 weeks ago, it's better to use Google because they're better in keyword search production than ChatGPT. But in the end, I think it's just easy to use tools, especially when you create original content. Like I'm talking to the camera anyhow, transcribing it and then using that. Hey, can you write me a summary? It's amazing what you can do with these things. And then you just you have the video like I have in my blog post, or like we even have in the community. Like there's the video and then you have a summary of the video. The summary is always produced by AI these days, at least for us. Any more questions? I know it's huge topics. Any bottleneck? Something you're scared about?
I can share if you want.
Oh,
Yeah, well, something that we discussed before, how overwhelming it can be at the beginning, the content production. Because if you
yeah.
have like a podcast or something that generates content, it's easier. But if you need to come up with something to post, I think at the beginning is a bit overwhelming. But what I learned in only 2 weeks is that by sitting one day, doing an Excel file, organizing a bit like Jens suggested, no, by topic, what can I write about?
Yeah.
What do I know? What are my skills? Then you can brainstorm and have that as a guiding line, and it actually relieves, and suddenly it doesn't feel such like a burden. It feels like, okay, I have this plan. Today I'll post about this, no? Or you can schedule. So it feels good after a couple of weeks, you get a hang of it, even if it doesn't look like it at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I can share that as well, just for everyone who is watching the recording. Just sharing my screen again. So what we have is I mean, this is like all my content documented from the last years. But just to give you an example, so this is my daily podcast with all the YouTube links and shorts links and so on. But from a production, what Sarah just mentioned, what I have is I have 5 different themes, and I focus mainly on this 5, and then I have still 2 extra. But what I'm doing is I have mindset and goal setting, networking, personal branding, leadership, increase your influence, my story, and leadership topics again. So this is twice. But what I do is like I just write down keywords for me, and then I produce from that keywords. I mean, this is my real video, like short-term video production. So that's the script that I'm using them to produce the video. That goes like, of course, more into details, but in the end, everything starts with a sentence like this, like put the work in and achieve your dream. That's kind of my trigger, and I write these things down over time. Like if you go further down, you will see here some brainstorming topics now from me, because we are not producing this week. And then there are different colors, but it's always the same structure. So from a sentence, go to the script and then go to the recording of the video. And yeah, I have different versions of that for other topics in the same way. In the end, it's always like, how do you set yourself up for success so that you create a production schedule that helps you not running out of content? And just but for me, it's like having this in my case 7 areas, but if you just limit it to 5, it's very easy. So you have every day something to talk about without having a lot of stress or anxiety, because you can just brainstorm as you go with your content.
It's very funny. Yours is so organized. Mine is chaotic for the moment. I need to find my way in my 5 topics that I haven't found yet. I'm exploring, but it's very funny. Yours is like so clean and neat. I won't share mine.
I do this since a couple of years. I mean, this is a long-term work and learning and doing all the mistakes as well. Because the tricky thing is just like we have all YouTube videos on from all my channels, because I have several YouTube channels, always with the topic and the link. Because like if you have like on my main YouTube channel with the Jens Heitland show, it's like 1,700 videos. You will never be able to find anything anymore. And just if you have it in an Excel table, you can just search and then you find the link and then you can use the link again. Yes, that's the German nerd.
No, I might take some of that because, yeah, well, I'm exploring at the moment. Now it's more chaos. It's like ideas here, there,
Yeah.
topics. It grows on different lines.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's good to see yours so clean. I can get there.
It's just easier because then you can just follow the structure without like taking a lot of time in production. I have the same, like when it comes to YouTube videos, I mean, it's then more text-based, so it's in a Word document, but I have the ideas I have here as well. So I'm adding the ideas and one of the YouTube videos I want to record. And then when I know it's production time, then I take this idea and then put it into a structure, which is like where I have a script for every YouTube video that I do, where I follow the same logic, so that I mean, to feed the YouTube algorithm, you need to do slightly different things. And then I just repeat the same script, searching for the keywords and everything before I start record. So the script is done before I record, and then I record, and then it's going into production.
And which questions do you ask yourself to get those 5 key topics? Or yeah, 5, 7 in your case.
Yeah, for me, it's very easy because this is like, if you have seen it, it's the same topics like we have in the community. So I have even more, but these are the 5 essentials. So I just look into, for me, it was what are the things that I enjoy talking about and what helped me. So it sounds weird, but I do a lot of content just for myself. Yes, what I've understood for myself is if you do something that you need and where you dig deeper into and you want to learn more about, then you produce it, then you are getting more knowledge about it. And as more knowledge you get about it, as easier it gets. Plus, you enjoy the whole thing. Is for me, it's really like I have talked about leadership for more than a year now in depth, and sometimes it's so detailed that it's too complicated for some people, and sometimes it's so high that is as well too complicated for some people. So you can say the same thing in 20 different ways. That's also the fascinating thing, because like social media is so fast that people don't see what you have said half a year ago. Like I could post now the same exact content like I posted last year at this time, and nobody would ever get it. I'm pretty sure. That's another fascinating thing.
I think it's on like that, like for many companies, they do that. They take the same from the previous year, change the picture, perhaps.
Yeah, and that to Sarah's topic, creating unique and daily content can be a challenge. I agree, it is. That's why I have this system built up so that I'm dropping always things into this. And what I do, like when I'm reading books, it's here. So I try not to have my phone next to the bed. So when I'm reading, I'm just taking sticky notes these days, and I just write down like ideas, just to keep. Because if I am too inspired when I go to bed, then I can't sleep. So at least for me, it's like it just says. Yesterday I listened to Tony Robbins, and that's just an example. It's just the word is decision, because he talked about the importance of decision making, and when you take a decision, then you move things forward, which fits 100% to my mindset topic. So I can just repurpose what he said into this. So I get a lot of inspiration from books, from podcasts, because I'm listening to podcasts almost every day. And sometimes really random under the shower moments where it's like, oh my God, that's a cool topic. And of course, through the community, getting questions, seeing what I also do is I always take screenshots from interesting posts, like posts that hook me somehow. I take screenshots and then document them for myself, because then I can replicate them just with my angle. Because sometimes it's a post about, let's say, bodybuilding or running or whatever, and he's like, oh my, that's a cool way of saying it. And then I just use that and say it in my context and with my values and who I am. And it's still different. Even if you, like, one of the leadership experts in this world is Simon Sinek. Even if we talk about the exact same thing, because we have different backgrounds and different superpowers, as I always say, it's still different. Even if it's contextual, the same thing, leadership and whatever, or listening, it's still different because I have different experiences. I tell a different story. So I get a lot inspired by other people. Yeah, and to the next part is, how do you keep the inspiration flowing? It's like, for me, it's just explore. Because in the end, like, a piece of content, if you take my case, like a daily video, it's just 60 seconds. It's just like a spark of something. And then I just test these things. And that's maybe an interesting one, again, more from a strategy perspective. What we do is we post my daily videos first on TikTok, so I see how they're performing, and then I combine different TikTok videos to one longer form video. Like, one of my last videos on a real YouTube video was the networking YouTube video, and you will see, if you pay attention, these are all smaller clips that I did with single, like the selfie tip and the phone hack, and all of this are a single smaller short form video. So we tested all of them in TikTok, and then I can use them and put them into a real video. So that's another expert hack. Any more questions? I know we're a small round. Nothing. I mean, we have the community. I will drop this into the community as well. You're always welcome, like Sarah as well, to reach out, ask questions inside of the community, especially on topics there where you think, like, maybe that's not something for everyone. It is. In the end, it's like a lot of people have the same question, like the AI tools. Are you with the SEO? That's an easy answer because I have done it the last 5 years. I'm not an expert that can, like, be the expert when it comes to SEO or AI tools. I can just tell what works for me and what is the easiest way to do it in my experience. And always happy to share. And we have so many people in the community now. There will be maybe experts in specific niche that can tell you way more than I can. Like we see with the post today, like, what are the leadership problems you have faced, or things like, there are people talking about it. We can help each other. That's what the whole community aspect is about.